Howdy howdy. That was a long maintenance. What was that, like 18 hours or so where we couldn't play Maple? I nearly thought I had to go find a new hobby. That would have been kind of scary. But we're back now, with something a little bit different. So some of you all know, I've been playing Shade for a little bit now. So I wanted to go over the new class remaster with you all. Alrighty, so when I logged in for the first time, most of my skills were gone down here. So I just needed to respec those ability points back into the skills here. And then once you start doing that, the skills start appearing back in the initial keybinds, which is good. So you don't have to go and rebind everything. Some of them are missing because some of the skills have changed. I will go through that a bit later. But I've just gone ahead and done that for now. There were also some job story quests on the side here, which give you medals for your job advancements and whatnot. One of them also gave me a Moonbeam skill, which I think is just a cosmetic effect. Let's have a look. Yeah, it looks that way. And you just summon Moonbeam. That's cool, you just have a little companion. And obviously you can toggle that on and off depending on your aesthetic. And poof, gone. So I've just gone ahead and done that too. And now my shade should be back to where it was when I last logged off.
Blow them away.
Look, I was never that strong to start with. But where did my burst go?
1 week
Earlier.
Open the door. Power. Your soul. Awaken. Power. Step aside. Ha! 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 Ho! Ho! Ha!
Alright, so maybe not the fairest comparison. The guild leader hadn't had logged in yet. It was right after reset, right after maintenance. So I didn't have any guild skills. But even then, I was still like 3 bars away from finishing.
Blow them away.
I don't know how much guild skills really would have helped in that 40 seconds of burst that you get. Yeah, I think our damage definitely got moved around a bit. To be fair though, there's always going to be that transitional period where you're relearning the class. I was used to the old burst, I knew how to maximize the damage on that one, but the burst is different now. Like, your burst ability is different, your burst rotation is different even, and I'm pretty sure in this one I didn't have the summon up. Like, we have a summon now, what? And I think I missed the soul splitter, so that didn't help. Let's go through some of the skills that are changed. So in first job we've got a new buff skill, which is this +1 attack speed one. Now this +1 attack speed used to come from our hyper skill, so we get this a lot earlier on now. It used to come from the hyper skill where you would pick up the livers and you need to maintain the liver stacks in order to keep the attack speed buff. So it's a more permanent effect. I just gotta make sure it's on a pet skill, or remember to keep buffing yourself. Second job, you'll notice a new skill that lets you select the direction of your blade imp, or the direction selection skill if you will. This essentially just lets you select one of 3 directions of the blade imp. We used to have all 3 as 3 unique skills, so I guess this is a bit of quality of life. I never used all 3 anyway, I think I used up to 2 max. So now use the skill, select which direction you want, and it just does it. So yeah, it's a bit of quality of life. It's similar to the Xenon interface if you've ever played that class. Third job, Spirit Frenzy has changed. This used to be our burst skill. This used to be where most of our burst damage came from, but it's now a summon. So I guess we have a summon now. So here's to some lazy rotations.
Stand back.
Fourth job, a couple small changes here in fourth job. Soul Splitter is now a 60-second cooldown, so you can use it every minute, which aligns well with your new burst, which is also minute cooldown, so you can do a small burst every minute or so. Spirit Ward is the other one that's changed. It's now a recharging ability, so without even needing to press the skill, it will recharge guardians that block status conditions as we're used to. You can also just press it to immediately gain the 3 guardians. So yeah, I think that's more quality of life. We shouldn't be getting hit by any status conditions on this class. 5th job is where we start seeing some of the major changes. Smashing multi-punch used to be just a skill that you would press and release immediately, just for a little bit of burst. However, now this is our main burst skill, so you want to make sure you hold the key down skill and get maximum duration out of it. Spirit Gate, this one's changed a little bit. It's now a 60-second cooldown instead of the 30-second cooldown I believe it used to be. There's also no more stacking effect, so it just immediately applies the maximum debuff, which is good. The other 5th job has been changed as well. It's now called Fox God Flash. This one used to be called Spirit Frenzy or something like that. It would use all of the other skills, excluding 5th job skills, but it would use all the other skills randomly, and the damage would depend on which skill would be used. So now I guess it's a bit more of a consistent damage. It also looks freaking sick, like it takes up the entire background. Look at that. That's so sick. But yeah, more consistent damage, and no more hoping for Spirit Incarnation, because that's all you really wanted. The Origin skill is probably the one I'm most disappointed about. We had a really cool one. We had a Lingering Origin, which enhanced our Spirit Claw. It gave us like Hyper Spirit Claw. It looked so awesome. The Fox Spirits looked awesome as well. But now it's just been turned into your generic cutscene Origin that does big damage.
I'll give it all. Everything I have. Until nothing's left.
The old Origin, I felt, just fit more with Freud's wisdom. Like, you would use the Origin, and then you'd get 30 seconds of the enhanced Spirit Claw. If you time it with your Freuds, you get 30 seconds of invincibility there as well, so you can just stand there and just get the maximum damage out. But now our burst is condensed, so it's a lot easier to get it out, I guess. I'm just going to play some footage of some old bossing with the old Shade as an homage to what once was, as I wrap up my thoughts here. I think that's what it really is. They've just condensed the burst a lot more, so the burst is a lot less. The damage is more spread out across the other skills, so now we're more of a DPM class. I mean, we were a DPM class to start off with, but now even more so. So I guess they're just full setting it down that route. I don't really have that strong of an opinion on the change. I know some people dreaded this change, and today's the worst day of their lives. They want to go back to the original Shade, which just isn't going to happen. I think we have gotten a bit weaker, but that could also be just a bit of the knowledge gap and just learning the new class again. And there's no way Nexon would let us fail, right? With a brand new class, they would surely want everyone to play it, so they won't let us be that weak, right? Right? Even so, you know, we've never been at the top of the damage charts. We've always been mid to bottom. It's always just been Shades doing Shades anyway. And like always, I'm a sucker for gorgeous classes, and oh boy, I think we've just leapfrogged a whole bunch of classes to the top of the gorgeous list, so that's a huge plus for me. Maybe that's the copium speaking, I don't know, but I totally understand it if you were disappointed with how the remaster turned out. And I mean, you know, if that's the case, take a break, go play some other class, and maybe you find a new main. Or maybe you'll go, hey, you know, I actually do like Shade. I'll come back to it and I'll stick it through.
You're broken. I don't want to play with you anymore.
I don't feel like the class has lost too much of its identity. Like, the playstyle is still relatively the same. I'm sure the burst might be a bit different, but the movement, you know, the survivability, and of course the aesthetic, the skills look gorgeous. You know, that's what I fell in love with when I first, you know, played Shade. It was the backstory, the skills, and they've just doubled down on that. So it's still there. But yeah, that's me. I'd be curious to see what your guys' thoughts are. Let me know. Any Shade players out there. Alright, thanks for watching.